My name is Lieutenant Lee McCullum with the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office, and today we received voicemails. I received information this morning after school had already begun that we had some voicemails threatening to make a bomb threat, and one school in particular had one about making a shooting. As soon as we received that information, we made contact with Department of Homeland Security Special Agent, and we immediately began opening an investigation who is quite possibly doing this. We ended up finding out that the suspect's his name is Kenneth Smith. He's out of Robertson County. He's a 46-year-old male. And at this time, he is in our custody here in the Cheatham County Jail. After we had received that message this morning, we were actually in a meeting here in Special Agent Beard with Homeland Security was actually here in our office, coincidentally. We had received that another school had received a threat as well. We ended up getting with all the school resource officers here in the Cheatham County and had them check with their front security desk to make sure and see if there was any other messages left, in which we'd found out Cheatham Middle School had also received a message. So in total, we had 3 schools: Kingston Springs Elementary, West Cheatham Elementary, and Cheatham Middle School. So, and that's kind of where we're at right now. He is in custody. We do take these threats, 100% serious. He is being charged with threats of mass violence for 3 counts for the 3 schools. Yep. Yes, appreciate that. Yes, we did also coordinate with different other agencies, with Tennessee Highway Patrol and Metro Nashville Police Department and their explosive detection canines. Excuse me. And we actually had them come to the 3 schools. We also, in coordination with our entire sheriff's office and multiple agencies with Kingston Springs and Pleasant View and National City Police Department, did a sweep of all Cheatham County schools, including specifically those 3 schools with the canine bomb detection dogs as well. So.
My understanding is that he is familiar to you guys, that he has some kind of criminal past record?
Yes, he does have some type of criminal past record. I don't know specifically with our county. I know in Robertson County he does, and I do think he may have grew up in the county in the past. Maybe went to school at West Cheatham.
Do you know if the criminal history in Robertson County had anything to do with these types of threats that were made today?
I don't specifically know.
The threats, I'm assuming, are those felony charges?
Yes, each count, 3 counts of felony threats of mass violence. Yes.
Do you know what time those calls came in?
Yeah, so they had come in, and I want to be specific on that. They had come in over the weekend, but they weren't checked on voicemail until staff came in this morning. So it was after school had already started when they were checking the voicemails from over the weekend and noticed that they had this voicemail from him.
And did those come into like the main office or anywhere in administration?
Yes, they came to the main office. So the first one we had was Kingston Springs Elementary, and then we had found out about West Cheatham. Coordinated with all the other SROs to check with their voicemail system and found out, Cheatham Middle School.
You kind of coordinate with the schools to execute a peaceful, dispersal of all the students and keep the parents calm. And
yes, so we have a great relationship with our Board of Education, our Cheatham County School District, and so out of an abundance of caution with them, we had made the decision to shut the schools down for the day, and so they had sent messages out. It's a little bit easier for them to send the messages out than it is for us sometimes, and so I know pretty quickly and swiftly. I feel like we try to send that message out to parents and the county.
This may be a better question for the schools themselves, but is there a way that they can check their voicemail box over the weekend now, like knowing that something like this has happened? Do you think that that's a change that may come down the road?
It's a change that may come down the road. It's definitely something I would need to talk to them about, but I can't answer if they have that capability or not.
Sounds like a dumb question, but why do you guys take this so seriously?
We take this so seriously because some of us, we have family that actually live and work in live in the county, but they they work in the school system, and we have students, or some of our children go to school here. But I mean, school safety is one of the biggest things I feel like kind of facing us and our state, our county. We all take it seriously, and we're going to do everything we can. Any threats that come through, we're going to treat them as being credible and investigate them. And obviously, in coordination with state agencies, Homeland Security, and any resource that we have, we're going to try to do it and look into it.
I was a little surprised when you said it was a 48-year-old.
46.
46, sorry,
Mhm.
46-year-old male. In my head, I thought, well, it's got to be a student. It's the end of the year, and they're pulling pranks and that kind of thing. In light of that, I mean, what message do you want to send to kids as we get close to the end of the school year, and they think about, oh, it might be funny to call in a threat or whatever to get out of class. I mean, any message you want to send as we get close to the end of the year?
Yeah, so I mean, even as no matter what time of the year it is, it doesn't matter if it's over summer school or not. These aren't jokes. We're going to take them serious no matter what. And it's not funny by doing this. We want people to understand that it's a criminal charge also to lie and make some of these complaints up or these threats up. And so whether you mean it, you're intentional about it, or not, it's going to be treated the same way and be investigated and charged the exact same way.
I'm assuming that the search and clear of the buildings has been completed and that you guys are ready to release the buildings back to the school district and class will resume presumably tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. So all schools have been swept. They're all clear, and like I said, in coordination with those K-9 teams from other agencies. And as far as we're concerned, it's going to be business as usual tomorrow with the schools.
Message for parents out there who are, I mean, there are a lot of parents who are obviously visibly concerned this morning as they're trying to evacuate their kids from school. It's probably a scary situation all around. A message to parents on, your guys' commitment to addressing these threats and, taking them seriously. Yeah, so I think our agency, we take school safety very, very important. Actually, this year we established a school safety division here, in which I'm the lieutenant of, thanks to Sheriff and our Cheatham County Commission for being able to get that started. And I think that shows our commitment to school safety is by establishing that specific division as well. But I think the message too is also we try to get this information out as quickly as possible, and sometimes misinformation can be put out there, and but we have every child's safety in mind, and I mean that's what we're going to put forefront is that, and to please trust us. We're trying to put some of this information out that schools are safe, and we had law enforcement at every single school in the county. We have 13 schools in the county, and in some of our schools we had 3, 4, 5 or more law enforcement personnel, because we take it, it's this important to us.
Without giving away the farm here, how quickly or how easily or how difficult was it to identify and to catch Mr. Smith?
I would say within an hour we had him identified, and we had already made contact with him. Shortly around that time as well, as we had made the decision. I think we had an idea of who it was at the time, but we had already made the decision to shut down the schools before actually making that contact. So
I think it's a little bit unique that it was called into the school's voicemail itself. I feel like school threats that I've covered in the past have gone straight to dispatch 911, calling in either a false threat or any type of threat. So is it a unique situation to see someone call it to the school itself that there is a threat?
I say when it comes to maybe bomb threats, it's probably more commonplace for them to call the school individually and stuff. I think it's a little bit more unusual with the time of day that it occur when they're calling at 12:30, 1:30 a.m. And leaving a voicemail for us to find on Monday mornings. So I think that's a little bit more on the unusual side of it. But it has happened before. We've received calls before, and we've treated them the exact same way and investigated them to the fullest and made charges in the past. So we'll keep continuing to do that. Say why?
Can you say why?
No. So I didn't interview him personally. Tennessee Department of Homeland Security. I want to make that clear. Is Tennessee Department of Homeland Security are the ones that actually made the initial contact with him, and I don't think he specifically said why, but he knows what he did and immediately made that apparently known to us that he's the one that did it. So we know for sure it was him though.
Seems a little old to be pulling pranks.
But yeah, little yes. Yeah.
Any tomorrow more officers or deputies at schools tomorrow or stepped up just in case kind of thing?
Yes, I mean we're always going to, especially after an event like this, we're going to try to provide more security, especially with this week being graduations. Especially with this week, we're having more awards and graduations throughout the schools, and so yes, we're going to provide more security at each of those events as much as possible. Any other?
Thank you.
Anybody
Any other
else?
comments?
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Any other comments from anybody else?
Sir,
Chief?
you want to say something?
Sure.
Can we get your first and last name, please?
First name is Greg, last name is Mays, and M-A-Y-S. I'm the Deputy Commissioner for Tennessee's Office of Homeland Security. And so I just want to thank the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office for the great partnership we have with them and our other law enforcement agencies across the state. The Tennessee Office of Homeland Security takes school safety. It is extremely important to us. Our investigation of this particular case indicates at this time that Mr. Smith did not pose a real threat of violence to the schools. I think it's important to get the message out to parents and teachers and to the community that your schools are safe. Now, even if he didn't intend any real violence, making threats like that is against the law. It's a felony crime, and we take it very seriously. You heard the lieutenant talk about how many resources were dispatched to all the schools in Cheatham County and how many deputies and officers were taken off the streets and sent to the schools for what appears at this time to be a hoax threat. We take those very seriously. Homeland Security partners with our law enforcement agencies across the state. We will vigorously investigate every single threat and treat everyone as credible until we know it's not. And so I'm very proud of the response today with Homeland Security and the Sheriff's Office working together to have this subject identified and questioned and have essentially a confession within, about an hour or so of kicking this thing off. So very proud of the work that was done today. Very appreciative of the partnership, Sheriff, and we will continue to keep schools safe across the state.
It seems like we're in an age where school threats continue to escalate year by year. So I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but has investigating school threats gotten easier for your office just because of how many you guys have had to investigate over the past years, maybe decade?
I wouldn't say the investigations get easier. I understand a little bit of your question, and I guess it's true to say that our personnel, our Homeland Security agents, are getting more experience, and in that regard, perhaps they are finding them a little easier. But it's troubling, in one sense, to have so many school threats. But on the other side of that coin is I want to encourage reporting of school threats. I don't want anything I say to discourage anyone from reporting a threat, because if we have to investigate 100 of these hoax threats to find the one real credible threat, I'm more than willing to do it, right? But the amount of resources that it takes on hoaxes like this, we've demonstrated today, how much it takes to respond and how much that takes away from the real threats. Now, we're going to respond to every one, but we're going to take seriously these jokes or hoaxes, and it's a felony crime to make these threats.
Can't deal with the potential sentence. Somebody's at home thinking, "Oh, I want to go do this," but then they realize, "Oh, this could give me 20 years," or I don't know what the sentencing is.
I don't recall it. The code is Tennessee Code 39-16-517, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get you the code, and it'll be in there.
Yeah,
threats of mass violence against schools, and what the sentences will be up to the judge and based on the defendant's criminal history and a number of factors.